Alright, so I started doing these little videos on as I tear these cars down to kind of add to the car itself, just to kind of give an idea of what I pull, the conditions are like while I'm working on these things. So far, I've worked on this a couple of nights. I had a request for some other parts, so I had to hurry up and get that done. I got the complete instrument cluster out, the head heater control switch, all the trim, the radio, the lower storage bin, the heater vents thing there in the dash, and the glove box. I got the console was busted already, but I had somebody that wanted some of the bracketry, so it's gone now. I got the steering wheel horn button out. It did work. I got both door panels removed. Haven't really touched anything under the hood. Started to remove the valve cover and then moved on to something else. Got sidetracked. That's easily done with me. The passenger mirror was broke, but I had somebody that needed the bracketry. So now I just removed the taillights tonight. That was a nightmare. These plastic panels, all the screws were rusty and just messy. And so this is one of the things that people that deal with these cars, they may or may not know about. But this back corner here, you can see, was just clear full of that. And you already know what that is. So that's disgusting. I don't breathe it unless I absolutely have to. I try to avoid that. But you can see, like, this car, that's a hole. There's another hole. There's another one. It's hard to see, but it's right here. Yeah, that's just fixable. But when you're dealing with stuff like this, where do you stop? Where do you call, man, this thing's too far gone to fix, whatnot? To me, it's too far gone. Too far gone to fix. If it was a numbered car, you know, a GLHS, then it'd be a different story. But unfortunately, this car's on its last times. It's on limited time frame on, you know, staying on Earth with it before it gets crushed. Plans still are remove the front fenders, remove the hood, and then the front nose, and then engine parts. Something I found unique on this was the way that the paint bubbled. I've never seen that do that before. I'm not a body guy or a paint guy, so I don't know anything about this stuff. If you know something, tell me. Let me know what you think. What would have caused that? Pretty interesting. I don't know. The windshield is cracked, so it's not going to be saved. I'm going to keep the radiator, even though there's no coolant in it. Still, these radiators are getting harder and harder to find. And a person could find a radiator shop that they could, you know, they could always have it record. So at least the bones are there. That's the most important part. Back to the doors. I've had people, oh, you should keep doors. And, man, I've parted a bunch of these little cars. And I've only had a couple where the doors were actually rotten beyond repair. So to me, I'm not keeping the doors. Debating on keeping the front seats. I really don't want to. But we have plans in June of possibly setting up in Carlisle. So if you've been to Carlisle, let me know what you think. Let me know what it's like. I've never been there. It's a bucket list item. And I definitely, you know, if I went, I would try to take as much stuff as I could, because for us, it's about a 9-hour drive. But this seat is the worst one. You can see it's got wear there. It's not through, but it's definitely wore down. I mean, it is. I guess it is wore through. It's just not a hole per se, but there is. Looks like two little ones there. So, do I keep the seats? Keep them stored for the next 6 months, 7 months to drag them to Carlisle to maybe sell them, or just let them go? To me personally, I don't foresee anybody wanting them. But let me know what you think on that. Still going to pull the rear spoiler. Of course, the wheels. Did find the spare was actually a full-size spare. And looks fairly nice. Looks like it's never actually been on the ground until now. But anyway, keep working on this. I'll do another video once I get more done. And I'll keep showing, you know, what we're doing as we tear these cars apart. So All right, we're going to call it a night and start again the next chance we get. All right, so I'm a day late in this video, but that's okay. Got dark on me last night, and anyways, worked on the car for a little while more. Got the, walk around here. Got the driver's side ground effect removed. Got one bolt out of the seat, the other one's wanting to round off naturally. Got the inner fender liner removed from the driver's side fender. Of course, Dodge on the L-body cars was very famous on what's called a speed nut. So what happens over time is the bolt rusts to the nut. So when you try to remove it, it's not even a nut, it's like a clip. It snaps. So then it just spins and spins and spins. So then you have to get creative and use, if you're lucky, you can get a pair of vice grips on it. Sometimes you can use a flat blade screwdriver and kind of pry it and it'll get free. Sometimes you get really lucky and it just snaps. But unfortunately, one of the lower bolts for the fender is doing that. The other one came out just fine. So that'll be a fight another day. Got the hood off. The head's unbolted. The carburetor, I think, is unbolted. I'm not sure. I never removed a carburetor on one of these, so we're learning on that. And then, like I said, the head is done. Camshaft is out. It's going to a friend of mine. The guy that's buying the head does not want the cam. He's just basically wanting a bare head. So, with that said, radiator's out. It's laying right there. The hood's off and the fan is out. That's about it, really. I kind of ran out of time last night. Wife called me in for dinner, and once that happens, it's normally time to call it a night. So maybe tonight I'll work on it some more. Maybe not. I got a guy coming here in a little bit for a windshield. He's to be here in about an hour. So currently I've got to get the HHR out of the garage and get it on the trailer. It's going to a friend's house, a buddy of mine, and he's going to do the brake lines for me just because I just don't have time. I'd like to get the car drivable. You know, the sooner the better on that. So he's going to do those for me. And then I'm picking up another car from him while I'm there. So I'll do a video on that. It's not much of a car, but we'll do another video on it anyways. So I have a request for the battery tray. I'm going to pull the alternator bracket. The engine block is going to another friend of mine. He decided he wants that. The front seats and rear seats are spoken for. They've been requested. Still got the shifter to get out, the parking brake handle, the sun visors, and then the interior is pretty much done. I'll remove like this door handle. Contemplated trying to pull the ignition switch out because I do have the factory Chrysler key that matches the ignition switch, the doors, and the trunk hatch. So I got the trunk hatch lock out last night. Another thing, I got the spoiler off the hatch. So that's laying right there. And the valve cover is right here. I'm going to clean it up and it's going to go in the store. But yeah, so keep working on this thing. Goal was to have it gone by the end of this week, but that's not going to happen because life happened instead. Had a couple of concerts I had to go to, so kids always come first. But it's all right. This car will be here another week or so, and then it will be gone. Still got to pull the front clip. Obviously now I got to pull the engine and pull the head, which I'm going to pull the head separate. Just because. I don't know why. No reason why. Just because guess I'm doing it that way. Yeah. We'll keep working on it. Like I said, I'll try to work on it tonight. If not, and then it'll be, first of the week. So we'll update it again and keep this video going once I get more done. Okay, so today's another day. Had a few hours this morning to kill. So I decided to wrench on the car some more. Probably hasn't even been an hour and a half, actually. Anyways, the speed nuts that I was referring to in the previous video are these. I don't know if I can get my camera to focus in on them. So what they do, they slip over if you look at, there's a gap here. They slip over the fender. They slip down inside this hole. And they go on the lip that the fender mounts to. So what it breaks is that end. So they'll snap in half right across here, which allows this part of it to just spin, spin, spin. So that's what a speed nut is. That's what I consider a speed nut. So anyway, worked on the car a little bit this morning. getting ready to go in the house, clean up, and go do some more shopping, whatnot, for Christmas, because it's that time of the year. Happy holidays. Got the clutch cable bracket out. I still got to get the other side of it out. I got the proportioning valve out, the washer bottle, the wiper linkage, the wiper motor cover, the cowl air intake cover, the computer, the battery tray, the overflow bottle, the alternator bracket. All of that is off and ready to go. Get cleaned up and listed. That's about all I got done this morning today. Got all the fender bolts are out on the top. Still got to go up underneath and get them out from the bottom. The front nose, all the bolts are there off. I also got the hood release, bracket, whatever it's called. Stumbling on my words. Got that off as well. The shifter rods, the crossover and the other rod are off. They're ready to go in the store. The engine harness is unbolted from the firewall. You see it laying here. Still undecided if I'm going to try to save it. I probably should, just because, you know, they don't make these anymore. Somebody may need it, even if it's just for parts. The head is off or unbolted. Still can't get it to break free. I haven't messed with it a whole lot. So we're going to see what happens when I get more time. I know I still got to cut the exhaust, but the exhaust is broke underneath the car, like midway through, like under the rear seat. So it should allow it to move at least. So I don't know if I'm overlooking something or what. So I'll mess with that again another day. It's not a big deal. Still going to pull this motor mount. Actually going to pull the whole engine, because like I said in the other video, a buddy of mine has spoken up and he wants the engine, the short block, and then somebody else wants the cylinder head. So that's good. They're getting saved. The transmission, I'm not sure. It had a 4-speed knob, but I'm not sure it's a 4-speed. I couldn't tell by moving the shifter around, but I didn't know the Shelby Charger ever come with a 4-speed. So I think somebody put the knob on because it's what they had. That's my guess. So again, what do I do with the transmission? I'll probably keep it, since I got to pull it anyways, and try to sell it. So, you know, if somebody comes along and needs one for parts or one to rebuild. I know that the non-turbo cars had a different gear ratio than the turbo cars. I don't know the specs, but they definitely did. That's about all I got done today. So get another day to work on it some more. We'll update it and keep working on it. Alright, so it's the next day since the last video. I don't know, that was a couple, 3 days ago, whatever it was. And got the front clip off. The speed nuts that I was talking about earlier, believe it or not, I think I only had one of them break on this side, and that was this one. Get it to zoom in, but this one here on the back side of the fender goes into the front header panel. So, side front skirt still attached. Those are a pain in the butt as well. I'm going to try to get this video in here so you can see. So pardon for the movement here. But if you look back in here, you see that one nut right there on the side of the fender. It's got prongs on it. That's got to come off, which that's fairly simple. The problem is, it might not show it. If you can see that bolt straight back, that one goes up inside the extension, and it's a pain to get to. It's just no room. Well, that would be okay to get the fender apart from the header. However, one of the header bolts that bounce the fender to the header is behind it. So getting it to it is almost impossible. So basically what I'm saying is, you have to remove the big one and get the side skirt off in order to completely get the header panel apart from the fender. The upper ones are okay. As you can see, I got those out. They typically do that. They'll thread themselves out of the header panel because it's fiberglass. And naturally, as we all know, the bolts have a tendency to rust to the stud. That's no big deal. The bottom two are the ones that are connected by what I was just showing you. So basically, there's two more bolts, nuts, whatever, on the bottom portion that have got to come off. Once those are out, that side skirt, the thing that's kind of waving at you, will come off, and then the fender's free. But then you got to go over and do it to the other side. With that said, it is what it is. Don't remember, it's been a few days, so if I repeat myself, I apologize. But I got the engine computer out. I got the overflow bottle out, the washer bottle, and all the wiper linkage is all out. The cowl cover is out. All of that stuff is already listed for sale. You have to, I find it easier myself to remove the evac canister when you're trying to remove this fender, because it kind of is kind of in the way of a couple of bolts. I'm sure it could be done without removing it, but for me it's 3 7/16 bolts and the whole can falls out and it's out of the way. It's done. Interior wise, I haven't touched it since the last video, so it's still in the same shape. Still got to fight to get the seat brackets out. If you know anything about these, the front ones aren't bad, but the rear ones go all the way through the floor, so the nut meets in the middle and the floor is sandwiched between the bottom of the bracket and the car, or the nut, sorry. Those have a tendency naturally to rust as well, so they may end up twisting off. I kind of hope they do, to be honest with you, so I ain't got to fight them for an hour. But if that said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. My main goal now is to finish getting this nose apart tonight, hopefully. That's my plan, because it's kind of fragile, the fiberglass, so I don't really want to move it a whole lot until the fenders are off, so it's less flex on it, so it's less likely to crack. That front nose is already sold, so I've got to keep it as good as I can keep it. Luckily, the guy also understands, you know, what I'm dealing with, because he deals with these cars as well. So with that said, we're going to try to get the fenders off the header panel, or the nose, sorry, and continue on from there. Still have to get the cylinder head off. That's sold. The engine block is sold, and I got to cut the exhaust, and then I'm thinking the head will come off, and then I'll remove the intake and exhaust manifolds from there. The guy doesn't need all that, so I'm going to take it off for him. Worked a little bit tonight on the Omni, the 90 Omni. Had somebody request the corner end cap for the rear bumper and a side marker light and a fuel door. He's supposed to be here this evening. Haven't heard anything from you as of yet. So hopefully he actually shows and doesn't go ghost on me. That's kind of reason why we do the eBay thing, because those are 99.9% of the time it's a sure sale, instead of this pull parts for me and then they never show up, or they never call, or never message, and here you're stuck with parts in your hands. Either or, doesn't matter. Which is part of doing business, so we accept it and keep moving on with life. So I said we'll work on the fenders. This side skirt is off as well. I forgot that. I still have the rear side skirts to go. This door handle and back to the door locks. I'll probably end up pulling the door locks if I can get the ignition switch out. If not, it's not the end of the world. I'll still pull the door locks because it does have the original key for all of that. So we'll work on that. Do have somebody that said they wanted the dash, but again, I haven't heard from them in a while. So, as a matter of fact, it's got a crack, so he's not even going to want it, which understandably so. There's a couple cracks right. I don't know if you can see them in this pictures in the video, but there's a couple cracks right there. So I understand that. I still have to pull the dash, drop the dash, at least get it out of the way so I can get the clutch pedal assembly out. Those always sell, so I try to get them out if I can. So anyway, let me get busy, get some stuff done before it gets dark and cold again. Try to work out here while I can. So we'll update again once I come back and get another chance. Yeah, here it goes. Last chance. All right, so Shelby Charger is gone. The 83 Shelby Charger is done and gone. It weighed 1,460 pounds, I believe, is what the scale showed. So there wasn't a lot left of it, obviously, because it should have been about 2,300 pounds, give or take. So it's gone. It's done. If you seen this beginning of this video, I had 2 pictures posted. So through the timing of doing this, I've been called a few names, and I find it funny. I was called a Grim Reaper of Mopars, of front-wheel drive Mopars. Okay, that's cool. And then somebody else one time had called me a vulture. I almost changed the business name to Vulture Auto Parts. instead of Forgotten Dailies. I almost changed the YouTube channel to that as well, because I actually liked that one. That one was good because a vulture takes dead carcasses and strips all the meat and stuff off of it, all the good stuff, and then leaves the rest. And that's kind of what I do. So I don't remember who said it. Don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But thank you. That one has still stuck with me. I still chuckle every time. So with that said, we are on to the next one, and we've got our eyes open for more. So again, thank you for watching. Like, follow, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Again, how-tos. I'm not against them. We're gonna keep plugging away at it and get ready to take our trip to the state up north here in a few days. So that's our next trip. So I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great day.